I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
19th of February, 9:47 a.m. British Supreme Court. Lord Chief Justice. Well, I don't know why everyone's saying unobjection. I'm really confused. Or it's uno-objection. Anyways, don't spam in the chat. Please, thank you. Appreciate it. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruto? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all that the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day, even in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Burya, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling on one side of the mattress to the other. Oh yes! It really is the sort of night you can dream of. Wait, Searcher 64th has raided me. Oh, I see. Well, thank you, Searcher 60... Wait, no? Okay, I'm confused, but don't spam in the chat. If you spam in the chat anymore, I might have to do some timeouts, and I don't want to do any timeouts. Oh yes, it was normally the sort of night you can dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owned £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Oops! Sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance was so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking. So in a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. I really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place. Oh, good morning to you at this early hour. I knew it was this guy. I forget the voice I gave him, though. Oh, yes, well... Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Oh yeah, this guy told us to do it. Sato-san really is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of an imposing Lord Strongheart. Isn't that a guy in Full Metal Alchemist? I've been watching Full Metal Alchemist, but there's one guy, what's his name? It's like Strong something. Very good show, though. Also, I turned my fan on because it is warm. Soon it will be fall, though, and I won't need to put my fan on. I feel like this guy's the big mastermind. He just doesn't look trustworthy. He looks like Damon Gant from The Fifth Case in the first Ace Attorney. Yes, I believe you have a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. Oh yes, it was very eye-opening, thank you. And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruto performed his duty to the end. Yes, I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh! No longer are you a student of the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern island. Thank you very much. So, I'm a lawyer now. Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust it won't be a problem. Yeah, this guy is sketchy. Another case already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? So, opinions on the Ace Attorney series? I really do like it. I remember last year I bought the original trilogy on Steam because it was on sale. I played them. I loved them. I played Apollo Justice, and I'm playing this one now, I haven't played any of the other ones, but I do plan on playing the other two after, and maybe the Edgeworth ones. But I really do enjoy it. It's a nice puzzle game, and logic, and tricks, and fun. But I do want to finish this game though, because I haven't been playing it for a long time. I am enjoying it though. It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
Well, the truth. The truth would be cool.
The culpability of the defendant is not, at present time, established by the court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
Well, Lord Van Zeek, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Away you go. Alright, thanks for popping in, Searcher. Hope to see you again sometime. That's yeah, see, he's laughing. See? Wah ha ha ha. Wah. Yeah. He's also rich. You can't trust the rich. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent.
Well, your job is not to find the truth, it's to help your patient.
Patient? Not patient. Mr. Naruto! It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Magnus McGilded passed away Wait, whoa, what? Because there was, like, banging on, like, inside the thing. Was it him? That's a doorbell. And that's Finn. He passed away. No! What? Mr. McGilded is dead? I know, right, Finn? He's very loud. Hang on. I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds till my next engagement. Time enough to talk. Okay. So, he's dead. I don't know how I feel about that. I didn't like the guy. I don't understand what happened. How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
The Phoenix Wright omnibus. Yes, of course, that was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded has been accused of.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was delivered by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No. How could such a thing have happened?
I don't know. That is being investigated as we speak. But already, the police have identified a corpse found inside the charred cell of the carriage as that of McGilded.
That's awful.
The man must have slipped while inside the bailiff's the man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's detention was elsewhere.
The bailiff really needs to pay more attention. And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Man, thinking back on it now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. So who killed him? Is that our next case? Well, I mustn't be making tracks now. 'Tis the time for my inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
The inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage.
But who was Mr. McGilded talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer of any concern to yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded.
British court! What's going on with the British court? So, how did you find your first taste of the country's Supreme Court?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was, wow. Mr. Naruto means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It really is a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which only a few short decades old. Finn. Here we go again. I think there's a cat outside. Usually he barks at cats. Wow, Sasoro-san has such a way with words. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. She can read my mind, I swear.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
The most advanced in the world, isn't...
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
Yep, it was rigged. We were rigged. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny?
No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent, wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that. Yep, he is very suspicious.
Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth, which is precisely why I prepared a new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's going on? What was he going to say before? He's going to say that he's a villain. New case. Tell me about it. Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me it's murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes. Yep.
Don't worry, it's nothing too alarming or quite as urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind?
That is to say, no one has died, as yet. And the trial will not be today. There's plenty of time for someone to be killed, to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
So the trial's tomorrow, then. Is everything alright? Oh, yes. I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruto. I don't know if I can face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGillard's trial. I don't think you will be, because the whole place is on fire.
Oh yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Oh.
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unpresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
Death. The most terrible end, yep. Death.
Yes, that's right.
Here we go again. Now, let's see this case. I want to do some investigating. I'm tired of talking to this man.
Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruto. There's something I should like to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asugi.
Oh.
Would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds.
Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world works so he could change ours to Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh!
Another thing? Continue.
On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me.
Something very important I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be?
He never had a chance to tell me. Suppose he would have done if he'd ever made it to the Great Britain.
You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion.
Do you think that's actually timed, or if that's scripted? Mr. Naruto, what's this about? Mr. Asugi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand.
This guy? I know this guy. He was in the cutscene.
I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case.
It's not Mr. Hasanaga, though.
He'll be able to apprise you of the details.
How long has he been there?
So I wish you the best of luck, and bid you farewell.
There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama. What did you mean?
I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think?
Yes, you're right.
I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. What does he have? Oh, I saw a few chips in his hands. Saw a few chips in his hands, huh? What is that? I don't know what that is, actually. Can we trouble you? Oh, what do you think?
Lovely weather, isn't it?
What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eating out your hand, you know.
But Sasato-san told me it was foolproof.
I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having the likes of you who are talking to.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry.
Can you imagine what the other officers out there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. All because of some bumpkin who's here on a jolt from the country I've never heard of. Hear the ripping sound, that's my reputation at the yard going to tatters.
There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer.
Eh?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant to... It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable. How'd you pull that off?
So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson, Inspector Gregson to you from the Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Sasato-san? Does this detective name mean anything to her?
Inspector Gregson, who are you?
Inspector, are you perhaps... the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Yes, of course he does. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rant Magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really, you rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you. Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of the bad... Wait. Gregson is the pick of the bad lot in all of Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise? Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now.
That's great, isn't it?
I have to admit that I was a little, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumours about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumours? Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's got to his head. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Well, like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what the folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. I'm sure as eggs is eggs.
Never heard that before. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps the sudden rise to fame does change people. Yeah, alright, what's the case? I want to know about this case, I really do. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before...
Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means... As far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
Phoenix writes, a young gentleman, no, a young woman, the opposite, in fact, a young woman was walking along the pavement on Blair Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital unconscious.
It's despicable. What sort of coward would attack a poor woman from behind? She got shanked by some lad on the street. I suppose it would, I would have finished whoever it was off with a Sasato takedown, wouldn't you? It's neither here nor there, Mr. Naruto. Brace yourself, Inosuke. You've angered her now.
Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He bared time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the broke now.
Why ever not?
Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barak Van Zieks.
Oh, I know that guy.
Sounds like you've heard of him then.
Oh, yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zieks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Bailey. Okay, so this whole scheme has to have, like, it has to do with him too, because there's no reason why he would come back randomly to trials just to do cases now when I'm here. Like, there's something fishy going on. The Reaper of the Bailey. Reaper of the Bailey. I know about him. Lord Barak Van Zieks, we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When Van Zieks stand for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. That every single trial in which he's the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. Yeah, except him. This Reaper of the Bailey's nickname, the Reaper of the Bailey's his nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant advocates against him is found guilty, is that it? Although maybe he wants redemption now, but that doesn't explain why he was there yesterday. Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zieks, Mr. Naruto secured a verdict of not guilty.
And what of it?
Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
What do you mean?
What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead.
Oh!
Magnus McGilda came
Wait, no, it wasn't him. He didn't kill him because he was looking. Unless he did. And he set something up. I don't know. Maybe he's just bad luck. I think he's just bad luck.
Mr. McGilda came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't really say you've saved the defendant, can you?
What are you saying?
Look, if Van Zieks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic. But I have some chips now. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that? Hello, AH! Welcome to the stream! I don't know if you're familiar with this game, however, it's very good. I'm enjoying it. It's about murders, and we've got to solve the murders. But no one has been murdered in this case so far. And we're not even investigating it, technically. Not yet.
Right, well, I've filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying on a few investigations here.
I've only ever seen the first Ace Attorney game. Oh, okay. I hope you enjoyed it, though. It is very good. I don't know, you said you've seen it, you haven't played it. I recommend playing it, though, it's really good. It was Blair Road, you said, didn't you, where this incident took place? Oh, and I hope you don't mind spoilers either, because they're probably going to talk about stuff from other cases in this game, so if you don't mind about that, then continue on.
That's correct, ma'am. If you've ever heard on the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself.
You've branded him a criminal already?
He's as good as shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. I'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's an inmate, 53. Now speak to the jailer, he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53, thank you.
Good day, chaps.
So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruto? To tell the truth, when I recalled the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. It takes courage, too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself, and I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? I'm one sub away from 500 subs, just despite me going to make a new account and sub to me and never use the... No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, I want it to be real. Or, here's a massive brain play. You unsubscribe, and then wait for someone else to subscribe, and then you come in at 500, and you'll be the 500th. Yeah, that's a plan. Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I'm your judicial assistant. You won't do that? Alright, I see. We'll get there eventually. Thank you, then shall we? Yes? Let's go! Let's go! Okay, let's go! Okay, we got 2 places. The prison cells where suspects are held whilst they await trial. Visiting is permitted at certain times. The scene of the crime. Alright, we're gonna go see our dude first. I want to see what we're getting into. So he stabbed a guy. Or so we think. 9th of February, local prison cell 9. So these are British prison cells.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Oh, that gas lead feels like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Cold stone? You got ice cream here? Whoa! Oh, don't, Mr. Naruto, you're making it seem worse. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. I bet it's Herlock Sholmes.
Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat? As yet with no name. Call me by my number. It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustably unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
Mr. Naruto, what? What do you think is going on here?
I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese.
Of course, it was in Japanese.
Oh.
Is that George Joestar? Excuse me, but who?
Oh, shush, quiet. They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it.
Right. So, could I ask you who
Exactly, there you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost.
A ghost? We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance? If he says, if the text box has like
Arigato,
I'm gonna scream.
This is beyond my wildest dreams.
So we've got someone from Japan here. He speaks real Japanese.
Forgive me for the outburst before. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all.
Imagine it. It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. Oh, so hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice in this damp, dark hellhole was a most momentarily moving moment.
He is definitely George Joestar. Do you see those poses? I mean, George didn't pose, but still, he's in the bloodline. I've got a star birthmark on my neck here. Who could have guessed that this new client, Lord Strongheart, assigned to us?
would turn out to be a fellow Japanese. Ah! What compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never failing Nippon! A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example? Yes, yes I can, I will! Shan't stay sullen and silent! I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy! Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruto. Okay, this guy doesn't seem suspicious. He's not like McGilded. McGilded was suspicious as soon as we met him. And I am Naruto-san's judicial assistant, Sasato Mikutaba. I am a visiting student sent by our government. Notably, notoriously named Natsume! Sasuke Natsume. I was gonna leave, but here, check out my armband that I have. Here. Yes! Yes! The symbol of one of our great empire's first-rate lawyers! Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side, you'll defend me! Oh no, sorry, that wasn't why I was showing it to you. Then why else would you show me that? Oh, in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll talk to him. Soseki Natsume! Sasuke Natsume... Hang on, let me try that one again. Soseki Natsume-san, what an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume? You mean an alias? A flower name. Plume? What's plume? I don't know what plume is. I speak French and I don't know what plume is. I don't speak French. I guess, whatever. That's right, Mr. Naruto-san. No, no, no! Don't be so prosaic! It's much more refined than that! And haiku, that reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, yes, that's right. A year ago I was told to go and study English. First I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale! Suffer that misery? Do you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some year, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something, does it mean you can do it? No! What do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could do. No, that I could understand. That I have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I see. Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on whitewashy! You must be a man of great standing. Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Okay, the accusation against you. I don't think this guy killed him. No, he didn't kill him, he stabbed him, but... Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? I didn't do it! I didn't commit that atrocious murder! Murder? Oh, no, 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 it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes! Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredibly, inexhaustibly irritating, inconvenient. This is my favorite character in the game. So Soseki-san was there before the scene but didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. Do it again. No? Okay. Actually, I don't know if it's the character or it's just the voice I gave him. It started on a cursed evening. Or it was an accursed... I don't know how it got started. It was an accursed evening just after the snow had started to clear, the heavy and with fog. I had been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure the bookshop wasn't... Sure the bookshop wasn't accursed too? I was walking along that accursed pavement. I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was. And just as I was to overtake her... She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed to the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. How terrible! I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps? I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That was a mistake. That's not good. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Saseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English, and the young woman at that? I'm defiant, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. I see. A young woman unknown to Saseki-san. And at the time that it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anyone pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? Here we go again. Oh, no, we're not gonna do it again. Getting some next level commentary. Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm having fun. If anything, this game gives me... It's a perfect reason to do a bunch of voices. I just hope that I'm doing a good enough job. I've been streaming for 42 minutes. Are you kidding me? Wow. Time flies when you're doing murder. I mean, not doing murder. I didn't do it. Promise. What do you mean, Sasato-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Saseki-san has just told us, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. Then, he apparently fled without having been seen. I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit? Ah, you! What did you just say? Nothing, I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little too loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Saseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry. Well, it's like he's dancing to the music. You're looking back at chat when you wasn't here, people were spamming unobjection. I know, I don't know what that means. I don't know what happened. But I maybe I need to add a rule, like a rule thing in the chat, like don't spam, because it's annoying. He didn't touch the victim and there was nobody in the scene to see him. I don't know why that happened, by the way. Oh, my mouse click does that? Oh, cool. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? It was probably someone that he found or something, right? Oh, yes, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective. Could it be? So it was either our dude or it was Holmes. I'll never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his hearty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Yup. Spamming his death sentence. I don't know if I'll go that far. Maybe a little timeout, but it's gonna be Sherlock Holmes. I mean, Herlock Sholmes, not her. Who is Sherlock? What? Bash, big-headed bust body, be gone! Busybody, be gone! May you be cursed until your days, Herlock Sholmes! I knew it. I love him. He wasn't in the last case, so I missed him, but now I know him. Mr. Sholmes? Oh yeah, baby, Herlock Sholmes. Here we go. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. Herlock Sholmes? Yeah, I think it's because of copyright. They can't use Sherlock Holmes, so they use Herlock Sholmes. Why is my bitrate so low? I don't know why it's so low all the time. That's really annoying.
I'll have to beat it. I hate my router, but we need to get a new router. Because if we don't, it'll stay low forever. Unless it's not actually low and it's just, I don't even know. They started shouting at me, "This is the police, put the weapon down!" The crisp 5 frames per second? No, it's 60 frames per second. The problem is that the bit rate is like really low right now, and I don't know why. I think I need to like beat up my router next time I stream. But it just looks a little weird. It won't look like that when I upload this because I'll have it fixed and Finn's barking again. Everything's going wrong right now, honestly. They started shouting at me, "This is the police, put the weapon down!" The weapon, so he had the weapon in his hands. That's something, that's a new thing. Yes, which is it was a thin sliver, but yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon? What? Disgusting dietary discrimination devils! You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That's Sherlock Sholmes! It's actually just Sherlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm a knife-wielding madman, me, this weak, stooped kitten of a man! I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was only the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were, that's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me, and in impossible English. Fiendish foreign film flammery! Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, but my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say, so I just kept repeating things like, "Yes, I do, and I'm fine." The next thing I know, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. You looked it up, and the creator of Sherlock Holmes passed away in 1930s, where he's probably public domain. Like, honestly, I don't really know. I just think it's really funny that... Or no, I think in the original, because this was originally in Japan for a long time, and then they released the 2 games together in a collection. But in, like, I think in fan translations they had his name as Sherlock Sholmes, but in the original they had him as Sherlock Holmes. So they just kept it as Sherlock Sholmes, which is amazing. I think that's awesome. Also, it's like a real Ace Attorney name, because a lot of names in Ace Attorney are just like puns. Like Luke at me is just a play on words of look at me. He's got a big magnifying glass. Look at me. Yeah, he's pretty great. I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine? He's not fine now. A lot of heart. Yeah, that's true. A lot of heart. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough. Oh, yes. Alright, yes. They've really got to me. This country's poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour. A student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I am confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm sort of a locum lawyer, I suppose. But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He's my best friend. A keepsake? Oh, I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh, what do you mean? The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me. goodness, why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
See, that's not fair. If you're found in a crime scene, if people find you in the crime scene, you'll be a suspect. But if you run away, you're a suspect. There's like nothing you can do. Man, justice. Well, I mean, I guess you'll have to be a suspect, but in these games, like, you did it. I know you did. Come on. Please, understand the man. I'm not a fool. I know how it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Saseki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laugh about me, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And of course, the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyways. That's awful.
They're so wrong! I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me.
That's racism. And discrimination, and it's messed up.
So at the very least, I like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue.
I like him. I'll defend him.
You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Saseki-san, it's just that if this guy ends up being guilty, I am never trusting a single soul in this game again. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can, for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it'll give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here all alone waiting for you. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Should be going then, Mr. Naruhodo. We have a case to prepare for.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Alright, I like him. Let's go to the crime scene. I have no idea what this is going to look like. We know that there's a lady and she was stabbed. I can immediately see a bike that has been damaged. There could have been a struggle. Or someone doesn't know how to ride a bike. This is nice. Snowman! An omnibus! So this is where it happened. Briar Road. Oh, look, Mr. Naruhodo! Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, but I never dreamt I'd come this close. The bike is damaged, so therefore someone was murdered with the bike. I don't think they were murdered with the bike. I think the bike was involved. Also, see, you've got to keep an eye on everything, because every little thing could be a hint. Like, for example, do you see that light in the background there? That looks pretty pronounced. I think they were killed off of the, they were dropped from the roof onto the lamp. There's no blood on it because the snow wiped it off, because there was a snowfall, then it melted, and then after that, no. What happened was there was snow, because you can see there's snow on the ground there, you see, and there was snow on the lamp, and they were pushed off the roof, and they were stabbed by the little point in the lamp, and there was snow on the lamp, and it melted with the blood, but also that means the blood didn't get on the lamp, so that's why there's no blood on the lamp, and also the knife was just a distraction, and then they also were thrown from the lamp onto the bike. But they were healed up before they were thrown to make it look like it wasn't a stab wound, because this game is crazy. So they were thrown across the thing, and that's what I think would happen. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. It was involved. They drove the bike off the roof and killed... Yes, that could be too. Hey, no, okay, so someone was riding their bike on the roof, right? And someone was looking down like, man, that's a far drop. It would suck if you fell and landed on that lantern. So what happened? The real culprit drove the bike and went boom and hit the person. It dented the bike because the person had a metal like brace on to heal her because she was stabbed beforehand. And what happened was she fell, and then that's when she got stabbed by the thing, and then the snow melted, and then they threw the bike down, and then the bike got more damaged. That's what happened. There's plot, by the way. We've got to read the plot. What, the helmet? Hee, of course. I have to try one out one day. I just got a huge boost of energy out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. Well, I hope your hattie dream comes true. What's up, man?
What's this Japanese delegation doing here?
I don't like this guy. Oh, Inspector Gregson.
This isn't the tourist trials, I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So you've been to the holding cell, then? What do you make of the criminal?
The criminal? He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, do as you will, doesn't bother me. The bloke's in the court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foreign conclusion.
The stone-cold air of rejection. Take heart! London at this time of year is full of stone-cold air. That makes it worse somehow. She was killed by frostbite, actually. That's what I think. Okay, what I like to do, I like to talk to everyone first. Scotland Yard, tell me about it. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by police.
The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am.
Oh, you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. It does make them look the part, seeing the policeman there with the helmet on. You can certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in duty of protecting the city. That's what killed the victim, the bike and the sheer amount of racism. I think that's what happened. But no, because I think the victim was an English woman. So I don't think it would have been racist, unless there was another Japanese person that did it. Or, wait, is my audio broken again? Is audio broken? Oh, no, okay, it's good. I swear, my OBS always messes up whenever I play this game. I don't know why. Like the audio always freezes. I hope it wasn't like that for long. Okay, I think we're good, though. I certainly get the sense this is a man who will do, yeah, okay. Oh, yes, doesn't he look wonderful? Like, I gotta keep looking at my audio all the time.
Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the labourers in his beat so they can get off to work.
What? He wakes people up?
Yep. Raps on the windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit.
What audio? Now you're trying to trick me. Because you're like, where's the... What audio? There is no audio here. No, I know there's audio. Also, what's up, Math? How's it going? Let me get a bit of water because it is pretty warm, and this water's cold. Man, I'm so excited for winter, though. I love the snow. It'll finally be cooler. Christmas time. Beautiful. Oh, what audio issues? So whenever I play this game, I don't know why, but whenever I look at my OBS, sometimes the audio readout, like the little meter that says like, oh yeah, you're talking, like it's in the yellow or it's like blue or whatever, it always just like pauses, and it's really strange, and I don't know why it happens, and it only happens when I'm playing this game. I guess I don't stream desktop games much, but it is annoying, and I mean, I might look into it after, but we'll see. Yeah. Let's keep going. I had no idea.
The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance.
So, back then, someone would, like, wake everyone up? Wouldn't they have clocks, though? Yeah, they do have clocks, so why would you do that? You're just annoying. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Habit a lot where your Streamlabs freezes, like everything is frozen except for the screen that records, or the stream still moves. Yeah, I think actually it does that too, actually. Because it's like, whenever that happens, I click on it, and then nothing's moving, and then nothing says I can interact with it, and it's really weird. I don't know why that happens. I'll have to look it up, because it seems like it's a problem that, I mean, if it happened to you, and it happened to me, it's probably a common problem. So, I'll look into it if I remember. Like the record buttons is frozen. Yeah, like it's like everything is frozen except for the actual stream. It's really strange. Like you can't interact with anything, and then you panic because you can't do anything at all, and you're like, "Uh-oh, that's not good." Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna keep glancing at it just to make sure that nothing's going wrong. Streamlabs being Streamlabs. Gotta go shower. All right, see you, Math. Hopefully, I'll see you again later. Let me see. 20 miles. It's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. A step too far. And while they're going, it's dark. Of course, he has the important job of lighting all those gas street lamps, which the victim was killed on, I guarantee. Oh my. And I suppose in between those duties, bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well. And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
Oh, good Bobby. I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men kneeling over from time to time, I admit.
I've always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But you don't want to be one of them. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruto. Your heavy head will be my heavy head if you do. Alright, about the case.
Let's learn more about the case. It happened around 5 in the evening, 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement.
Alright, if it's anywhere near the light, then I'm right.
The victim, a young woman, was shot with a blade from behind. Are you sure?
Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in a hospital.
I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all.
Suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Did he just put those chips in his pocket? No, don't do that. This is the original gumshoe coat. What if it was? Oh, that would be crazy. Maybe he is the ancestor of Detective Gumshoe. I think every detective is Gumshoe. I have to assume, right? Because everyone else is, like, similar? It's impressive how the inspector guy is making fries materialize out of nowhere. Or he just has, like, an endless pocket of fries, you know? Or chips. I guess they would be chips here, but fries. Crisps are chips here. Chips, you got fries, French fries, and then you got chips, and then chips are called crisps, and fries are called chips.
It's a map of the local area. I happen to have one on me. You can take it if you want.
Really? Are you sure?
The yard's policy to give lawyers, defendants, suspects the odd bit of information to go on.
I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. You know we're going to. There's no way we're not. Thank you, Inspector. We're gratefully accept. Okay. Now this is gonna be. So yeah, this will be important. Maybe, probably. It's in the court record, so.
Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countryman. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head-scratcher, is it?
Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming to not have seen anyone else around. But just because he didn't see anyone, doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present. That is weird, though. Like, how did he not see anyone? Unless he's being blackmailed. I think he could be being blackmailed. Because everything that's been happening, like the last case, everything from the last case to now, everything is suspicious to me. Like with the judicial guy, man, like I don't trust him.
I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we must certainly be sure.
I don't know why everyone else had to be different and call them chips and crisps instead of fries and chips. I don't know. And it's just the way they do things. It's interesting though. I kind of like it. You know, I mean, I kind of like it. How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed.
Oh, okay. It what? Who saw it, though?
We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less.
Sorry, we're not going to see them until the trial, I guarantee it.
Ah! It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
They were witnesses now? Tell me. Well, like, okay, tell me about the witnesses. Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens of London.
It's like Mr. McGilded.
He even has a park. He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
Ah! A policeman. That might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked.
Nothing particular about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby, catching them bang in the act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions?
Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow!
Oh.
I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to.
That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. They never do. It's not fair. Just like, hey, check this out, this guy, but you can't meet him. Nope, you've got to be under the pressure of court and able to talk to him. A policeman witnessed the incident. As judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me about that too. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector.
What?
The person who led you to be the suspect, I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
What are you bringing him up for?
Was it something I said? The color is drained from his cheeks. Mr. Sholmes. Okay, hang on. I guess that balances out. I keep forgetting that. Woo! It balances out. We Americans had to use Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. That's true. I don't know why you do that. Celsius is a lot easier to read. Here in Canada, we use Celsius. Except my grandparents. They have like a thermostat on the wall, and it's in Fahrenheit, and I don't know why. Because we use Celsius for everything else, except for cooking. But let's go with tomorrow's trial, and then ask about Sholmes, because, I don't know, I don't want him in a completely bad mood.
The twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you getting to defend him or not?
Well,
Makes no difference to me, but I will say this.
I really want fries right now.
No London lawyer worth his salt.
Salt? Oh, I really want fries right now.
Would touch the case with a briar's pole.
Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean?
There's no way to save that man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is a bit strange, though.
Sorry?
The Reaper hasn't appeared in court for once a good few years now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird. Like, he just came back. Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are real scum. The master criminals. The violent ones.
Master criminals? The violet ones?
That's right. He handpicks the victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
Yeah, this guy, like, I don't know. I don't know, man. There's something suspicious going on. There's no way he would be back for no reason. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely?
That's just my point, Sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there.
Okay, that's stupid too. That's what I don't get about, like, law and stuff, you know? If it's like attempted murder, couldn't say the I mean, if there's no intent, but if there is intent, what? Even if you try to kill someone and you don't kill someone, that should be like, if you are like, I'm gonna kill this person, I'm gonna do it, stab, or you stabbed and you didn't kill her. It's like there's like a difference between killing and like not killing but trying to. But I guess it would be the same if they found like if they found evidence saying like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna kill this guy. I hope you're enjoying your fries, by the way. I don't know, law is all weird. Alright, yeah, whatever. Keep going. It might just be biased, but I think Fahrenheit's better than Celsius because Fahrenheit's based off of people and Celsius based off of water. That's a good point. That's a pretty good point. I mean, technically, you could base it on, like, whatever you want, really. I don't know, it's weird. How about we just all use, like, Kelvin? I think that would be the easiest, really. Just because no one knows how Kelvin works. So let's just everyone use that.
So in this sort of case, I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for what a better... Wait, so this isn't the... Okay, this isn't, yeah.
Well, it's not exactly a minor infracation, is it?
No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness?
Lord of Darkness?
You'll have to ask yourself at tomorrow's trial.
Are we really gonna have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it? I guess technically he is the... Alright, you're in a good mood. Hey, what about Mr. Sholmes? Remember that guy?
Oh. Who did you hear that name from?
Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was on the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was a result of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions.
Fiddle faddle.
Huh?
The man's an amateur. I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh.
I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
Yeah, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to the Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble!
Oh!
Ever seen this before?
Oh, yeah, that's the Rance magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears. In fact, in the United States, whenever in school we have to do math based off of temperature, because we use Fahrenheit, we have to then translate that into Celsius, so you have to do an extra step. I remember it was kind of like that with measurements, like, we had to change, like, feet, and, like, inches, and, like, 12 inches is a foot, and then we had to mess with that a bit. I don't remember any of it. Like, I'm good at math, but when it comes to, like, stuff like measurements and stuff, like, I don't even know. Like, I use everything that the Americans use. Like, I don't use what I'm supposed to use. Well, I don't know. It's like, I think here you would, like, most people would measure in, well, actually, I don't even know about that. Because other places measure in centimeters, but I just say, like, I'm like 5. I'm 6'5". I am, by the way. I'm 6'5". I'm just kidding. I'm like 5'9". I think. Am I? I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not a crime. It's not a crime to be 5'9". Whatever. Someone's killed. We're not killed. Almost killed. Attempted murder, maybe. From the lamppost. The wonderful publication of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detectives make a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all.
So he knocks people down just to make himself look better? That's pretty messed up. But I haven't read it, so... Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We work our socks off, every last one of us, only to be frumpled by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us as Scotland Yard is, as he is to all of our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? You absolutely suck at math. It takes practice. You gotta pay attention, do your homework. Except homework sucks. Except my year this year is pretty simple. I even have like I have a pass period. I don't even need to go to class because I have a pass. And I have tomorrow's a Monday. I've got some school. Talking about school, I'm supposed to be playing Ace Attorney. No, but whatever. I just want to say this. I've got a pass period tomorrow, last period. So at lunch, I'm going home. It's pretty great. I love it. Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. But we've got some good-looking fries, though. I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective. You look really sad. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh, yes. What is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. With Sholmes? By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Finally! Yes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, exactly! Look at those shining eyes, like, you can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he? Yes, he did! He really did! I can't wait! Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. But the trouble is, We have no idea of the man's address even. He's gonna jump from the roof or something. It's Baker Street! You know? How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most, or 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Is it really? Time to look it up. I'm looking it up. Hang on. We gotta figure it out. Did you know that the goat from Goat Simulator has a name? His name is Pilgore. That's a really random fact, but thank you for sharing. I like it. Pilgore? That's pretty great. I haven't played Goat Simulator in years. Okay. 221B Baker Street. 221 Baker Street is the London address of the fictional detective Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And the UK postal addresses followed by number in a letter may indicate a separate address with a larger, often residential building. That's pretty awesome. But is that a real place? Is there a real 221B Baker Street? It did not exist in 1881, nor did it exist in 1887. Wait, so did it? Oh, there is still no... Okay. Oh. Damn it. Are you going to tell me that Sherlock Holmes isn't real either? That sucks. No, Sherlock Holmes is real. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better try and find our way there before stuff gets any more exciting and unpredictable. We're not even going to look at the crime scene? Hurrah, I'll summon a carrot! No, not now! So we're to have a reunion already. So we're to have a reunion already with the great detective Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Okay, no, I can't. I'm going to. I'm gonna look at this a bit more because I feel like I want to look at all of this first. The roof. I'm telling you, someone's thrown off the roof. It's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly does seem to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. Oh yeah, it actually does. Oh, it really does, actually. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yeah, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonable level floors. That is a weird-looking house, actually. Because there's holes in the window. Like rocks were thrown through it. Oh, look at the windows of that building there. Wait, those aren't even windows. Sure, they're windows. Yeah, but they're all filled in with bricks. Oh, you're right! I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. There's smoke coming from the chimney, though. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place. Wait, where did Dr. Strange live? It wasn't 22 Baker Street. I don't know why. It feels like it. What was it? I can't remember. I know it's in Spider-Man. It's in the Spider-Man games. Oh, I kind of want to play the original Spider-Man game on stream. I might do that sometime. Because I have been meaning to replay it after... Because I played Miles Morales, and that was really good. So I might play that on stream. Oh, a bicycle, look! Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. Seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. In the state you live in, you'll see those old-looking houses with windows full of bricks everywhere. Why do they do that, though? It's interesting. How did the bricks get there? Like, were they windows originally, or were they... Well, I guess they'd have to be, right? Strange. I really want to visit, like, London sometime. It seems like a really cool place. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. That's awesome. I don't think that happened. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Yeah, I hate bicycles. I definitely didn't get a new one like last month to ride because I love it. I hate it. Bicycles are such a fad, man. The internet is gonna be, man. The internet fad is gonna be over in like at least a few months. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both of your feet off firm ground seems reckless. If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and falling into a river, I know you'd agree with me. Well, we'll have to hire a bicycle sometimes. You can sit behind me while I ride you around.
Is that kind of a nod to Phoenix, right? Where he doesn't have a car, so he just he rides his bike to work all the time. That's awesome. I don't know if that's said in the games, but I know in the anime he rides his bike everywhere. They'll turn those old buildings into new businesses that usually never do well and have to close shop within a year. Well, that sucks. And it's hard to make like new businesses. It's hard starting from like nothing. It's man, but you just gotta keep going. Eventually you get somewhere. Alright, let's keep detecting. The clouds look big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. Well, it is known as Foggy London Town. I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks as though it's still being built, though. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yes, this must be the Crystal Tower being built in the great expedition that's to open in 6 months' time. We learned about that last case. Apparently it's going to be very striking, glazed on all sides, and the symbolic centerpiece of the expedition. It's to be the largest exposition in history, isn't it? I can't even begin to imagine it, and I can't even say it right. Okay, looks like there's nothing more on this screen except here, the pavement. There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow. I slipped over there when I was walking down the pavement earlier. Seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed all in black. Worry coachman might not see you and you could be flattened by the horses. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. I remember we learned that you should, when you're playing outside in the snow, I learned this when I was younger. They said if we're ever out playing in the snow, we should always wear bright colors because cars won't be able to see you if you're wearing dark colors. And I was like, but the snow is white. The snow is white. I didn't sound like that when I was young. I don't know why. but I was like, but the snow is white. Shouldn't you wear black clothes? No, not exactly. You gotta wear bright so they can see you with the lights. We're a reflector when you're out in the night. Ooh, rhyme. Do you see all the black smoke rising from the chimneys over there? It says here that in Great Britain many people heat their homes in winter using coal. The only chimneys I remember seeing in Japan were on top of the bathhouse. Do you think some of those houses could be on fire? Wait, what? Wait, I didn't read that right, did I? Hang on. Give me a second. Wait, do you think some of those houses could be on fire? Oh, I did read that right. Not at all. Well, even so. That much thick smoke billowing up in the heavens is surely going to turn the whole sky black sooner or later. Gosh, you may be right about that. You may be right about that. Check out this tree. I want to see the snowman. Hee what a delightful snowman! I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. No, it doesn't. Oh, it has a scarf, look! Oh, I figured it out. This must be the ancestor of the blue badger. You need one if you're out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I could have a scarf. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, I wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would I? It wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. Well, yeah, you put the thing on first, man. And then it snows and you're good. Okay, as one of the officers from Scotland Yard, the police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we were to wander close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught at that again. Twice isn't it? Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. Ugh. William Robbins, Daily News, The Daily Bugle. Okay, looks like we can't really... Oh, one more thing. I don't think we're going to get any clues from this, but we can check it out anyways. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker would have been hiding. Oi, what were your foreigners doing here? I love every single, like, bailiff and Bobby is going to have the same voice. What are you doing here? Oh, just investigating the scene now.
Conspiring with a mustache fellow in from Japan, aren't ya?
Conspiring?
Come here to destroy evidence, have ya? Get out here before I give you any... Go on!
Shoot us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. A wide berth. What a disappointing experience. Alright.
Looks like there's a carriage over here. Check out the carriage.
Oh, that's Scotland Yard carriage. That's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like this to rush to the crime scene and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's been a long dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. But that would mean I'm being impressive in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, if it isn't the only way... if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. No, I wasn't serious. What a guy. What a funny lad. Okay. I think that's everything here. Didn't get any clues, though, which is interesting. But... let's get out of here. Oh, wait, we can show... wait, no, I'm not showing him. No, I can show... wait, no, he just gave us that. Actually, no. Here. No, yeah, you know what? Here, take it. Thank you again for this.
Don't mention it. I had someone at the yard fish it out for me. But in the end, I didn't need it.
No?
Well, the case could hardly be simpler, could it? I don't need a map to work out what happened. You can throw it away when you're done with it.
Ugh. Cold. Also, it seems like this case is going to be a lot like in the first games. It's going to be like a traditional one. Because the other cases were only like in the courtroom or just investigations. This looks like it's going to be a mix of both, which I'm looking forward to. Stabbings in England be like, a bit rude to put a knife in my chest, innit, bruv, what? Yeah, I heard you can get stabbed in, like, in the UK. Like, England. Like, you can just... like, I don't know why. You could get stabbed anywhere, really. Right? So, like, if I go to London, I need, like, I need my own shank. Won't be nice to get shanked. Wait, no. That was terrible. That was a terrible thing. New location added. The Shome Suite. I can't wait for this. We're gonna meet Robert Downey Jr. and we're gonna meet... plot site.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Looked beautiful, but my mic broke. As soon as that cutscene started, my thing messed up. I don't even know if I have audio right now. Now I've got to chill here a minute and wait for my thing to fix. If it does, if it doesn't, I'm gonna be sad. So, time to wait. Is my mic on? I can't tell. Everything's frozen right now. I'm afraid to touch anything. I'm scared. To be honest. I'm quite afraid. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good. Alright, was my mic off? I hope it wasn't. If it was, then that's not good, but we're good now, I think. Audio is good? Okay, good. I went over to mute my mic for the cutscene, and then everything froze, so I couldn't get to. However, seems like we're good. Okay, Sholmes is sweet. It looks pretty interesting. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be in here somehow. But he's in... oh my. It says described in the story... or is it described as in the stories, Mr. Sato? So Sato-san... She's very happy. Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Benedict Cumberbatch!
That's the name I was thinking of. We're gonna see Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh! I suppose they must have been, yes. I never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears to the fog town on an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism! Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So, if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a little while longer. Please don't mind me. She's obsessed. She sure is. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Alexander Hamilton? What? Alexander Hamilton was not Sherlock Holmes. Welcome, Matthias. It looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Hey, it's her again. Hello, is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello? Wait, aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. Is she one of those characters that's like 40, but she looks like a child? Because, I'm just saying. There's a lot of those characters recently that I've found. And I don't know why. Why are there so many characters like that? Oh, she looks like she's 7. But she's actually 1,000 and she's a dragon. And they age differently. So that doesn't help your case, sir. Doesn't help your case. If they age differently, that means she's still like 7. You freak. Excuses, exactly. You freak. I'm calling you out, that's right. You know who you are. I'm sure it's the same girl. You started Pokemon Let's Play, whatever, Pokemon Platinum, and I'm your rival? Oh, dude, you're gonna win, because I suck at Pokemon. Mr. Sato, did you see the girl who was just here? Oh, yes, isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the king of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take his guys. Where's this energy coming from? The king of Bowaria? The King Wilhelm Gottrich Sigmund von Ormstein. Of course. You know, that reminds me, how do they teach the American Revolution in the UK? I don't know. I know nothing about anywhere except for my home, where I live. Because the way I know nothing about anywhere. I'll be honest. I barely know where I am right now, actually. Sorry. I'm drawing a blank. As to everything in my life. Forget the adventure of Sherlock Holmes for a moment and look over there. The tea's brewed and I have a freshly baked cake as well! Oh, brilliant, love! Oh, it's you! I knew it. Sasato-san recognizes her too. You can't forget that. She's a dragon lady. She's looks like she's 7, but she's 50,000. I'm talking with you as well. I'm looking forward to the try run my experiments of smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilda's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Oh, yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's a special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? It's rust, my child. My poor Japanese child. Oh, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray, it's a winner. I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate your fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you must have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man? Do you wish you lots and lots of... Wait, I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely? Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see? Oh wait, that's Sasato. Wait, all these voices are messing with me. You know more about Europe than you know about your own country. American Revolution here is taught at a natural standpoint. I think it's the same in the UK. I don't know anything about America. Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger. Where is this energy coming from? I swear, it's so weird. Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Early's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all of those things, do you think? And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me, I haven't introduced myself, have I? Alright, what is your name? I am Naui, from Fire Emblem Awakening. I'm actually a dragon, and it's a pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. Iris, that's... What was the one in Trials and Tribulations? What was her name? Oh, that's Dahlia. Okay, that's a different... No, the sister. What was the sister's name? Was it Iris? I can't remember. Oh, live here together with Early! Ah, Iris is it? What a lovely name! What? What's the matter? No, wait, this can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson? Well, son, what's the matter, son? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Yes, that's right. What are your names? Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruto, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruto's judicial assistant, Sasato Mikutaba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely, Susie and Runo. Got it. Susie? And Runo. There's more to this girl than meets the eye. That's a nice name. It is a nice name. You need to watch Detective Conan. Conan O'Brien. Why do I keep doing these weird pauses? There's no reason for me to do these pauses. Alright, okay, I'm gonna focus on the game for like 20 minutes. No, I'm not. That's a lie. I have so many questions for it, I don't know where to start. Okay, I'm gonna get through all of this. And in one go. I'm not gonna look at the chat at all, and then I'm gonna go through the chat and do a big break. Here we go, ready? Let's do this. Iris. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey. You want to make your stream on YouTube again? I just read the chat immediately. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just doing a trial on YouTube to see how it goes. I don't know if I'll stay here. For now, I think I will. But we'll see. Alright, now, completely focused on the game. Not even going to look at the chat at all. But I kind of... Okay, it was you we ran into at the Old Bailey. Yeah? Yeah, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh, no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Although at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Oh, there it is. Like this? Gulp. Ah, thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you? I'm a streamer, I have to read chat. I know, and I just did. If I'm reading the comment, I'm breaking up my promise. Okay, you know what? I'm going into another tab. Okay, I left the tab. I can't see the chat at all now. Actually, I can't see anything. That's a bad idea. Okay, you know what? Can I turn off the chat? I can't. You know what? I'm zooming the chat up, so I can't see. Okay. Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Okay, I gotta do this. Okay. There we go. Promise is... It's starting now. Oh, Ginny, yes, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Are you referring to the trial-disrupting gun-like contraption? Exactly, so I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. This girl is dangerous. Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to the trusty technician My trusty technician. Sorry, your technician? Hurley, of course, City. This music is bumping. Hurley? Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together. I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter. Daughter? Not likely. What? If you say wife? I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? No. Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? Well, I expect you found out that the lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is that I share the cost with a partner, a roommate. Okay, roommate. Alright. Your roommates. Yes, they're roommates. Good. They're not married. Good. Hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10. Okay. Alright. Okay. So she's not one of those characters that's 40 and looks like she's 7. Okay. Well, what of your mother and father? Oh no, they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. You don't pry. Okay, it's a good thing that didn't switch. Alright, Wilson. Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course, go ahead, Susie. I'm a very great fan of the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, and oh, you have a copy of Rance magazine? Yes, I've read every issue. It delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Ah, this is so exciting! My stories are being read on the other side of the world! My stories? That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Good goodness! Oh, she wrote them. Last night he was telling me all about the new case he just solved on the steamship traveling for a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So you were the author? Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call it the latest inventor, the Speckled Band. The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I just realized every single chapter in this game is named after her. This is, oh my god, every little is that how it is? Yeah, that's how it is, isn't it? At the beginning, every time there's like one of those little cutscenes, that's in the book. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories here and there. Yeah, that's true, because it wasn't exactly how... Oh my... That's pretty interesting. I like that. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Because I think that detective was in those stories, but he wasn't in the cases that we did. That's really cool. I like that. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Yeah, so that is what's happening. Yes. And of course, I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts in the case exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you? So, you mean to say the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in the Rance magazine, all written by me? Yes, I'm a wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, John H. Wilson. Sadako-san's getting more and more worked up. Uh-oh. Ah, yes, it's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true, too. I'm a doctor of medicine. You're 10 years old. Yeah, you're 10. At 10 years old! Well, that's quite incredible. But Dr. Wilson, an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow. I suppose it does, yes. Poor Sadako-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. Aww. Alright, your deductions just now. Well, we know what they are, because Herlock showed or told the stories to her. But before... Yes!
What's on your mind, Bruno? Do tell me. How do you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean? Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted. Although, there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Oh, baby, here we go. Iris Wilson is proud to present her Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Oh, yeah. I'm going back to the chat now, because I think we're about to get some reasoning. Alright, wait, what? I won't understand what you're saying. I'm gonna post the cat emote every 2 minutes to go read chat. At 10 years old, you were in grade 5 and you did not know how to divide. But did you know logic and reasoning? Here we go. Boy, she has a mark on her hand. What was that? It was a mark on her hand. Interesting. At the age of 10, Gold was as smart as I am today. Okay, yeah, okay. First of all, I know you were a lawyer, Bruno. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber. I am 10? That's because I am 10, yeah, okay. But you also said that we just arrived in London. How did you know that? I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh, so I was reasonably confident when you must have only just arrived in the country. She's good. She's better than Herlock. And on top of that, you accepted a case against the particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. I look and sound like I'm 10, yep. 10 who's been through puberty years ago. The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I? Then I noticed a red stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with the suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. Ah! They use those stamps to keep a close eye on the comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is usually only for people visiting foreign inmates. So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnum to Gilded, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see. But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Because of him, yeah. Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, early solved yet another case. It's obviously amused him, and he told me he'd caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been Mr. Natsume. Now, Runo has a fancy Japanese sword. I think your outfit is called a kimono, is it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves, so I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. Absolute legend. And she's only 10 years old. At 10 years old, you were in grade 5, you didn't know how to divide, but you were supposed to learn it a year ago in grade 4, but you didn't listen to anything your teacher said when you were in grade 4, so therefore you could never learn division. That's pretty messed up. It's a bad teacher. Oh wait, you didn't listen. Oh. Well, it's still a bad teacher. He should have if he noticed your grades then. Yeah. Maybe he ever passed grade 4. Well, and hey, grade 4, pretty awesome. Wish I could go back. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. She's actually better than the literal detective. Well, was that a winner? Were many deductions correct? They were spot on. Let me save really quick. I know it just auto-saved, but I want to do it again. Wait, no. Let's save it back up here, I guess. Okay, there we go. You're spot on. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You even managed even managed the certain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery. Oh well, I was just copying Hurley's style from that. This is really good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Miss Iris? Please. Gold just used the word literal correctly. Did I? What? No, I didn't. Literal. Well, I always use literal. Wait, what? Now you're confusing me again. This 10-year-old has too high IQ. You guys are making me question my own knowledge. The case of the Japanese man. So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying. Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railroad station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems. Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking, stooped man. That was our Natsume. Yep. Sasaki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. Your mother never used the word literally correctly. It literally irritates you so much. I added the literally that time because I know how the word works. But it seems there were witnesses after all. Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. He was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear. Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time. Of course it did, he's a great detective! Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently. Oh dear. I didn't realize the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. It's terrible. I suppose it's in the harsh reality of workings in the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is. But in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Sasaki-san. Yeah, we can help him. He didn't do it. I know he didn't. I can feel it. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun! Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to see him to ask some questions about this case as well. Oh, well, I suppose Hurley's still investigating the scene. Whoops, my bad. Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Nuts. Oh, May. Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there.
Iris, do you know where those lodgings are?
Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson while you were there? Yeah, we know Inspector Gregson. Ah, goody. In that case, give Gregsy this to me, for me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you need to know. What is this? A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems. Iris's postcard has been entered into the court record. Mr. Nuts. It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust it won't be a problem." Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, wasn't it? Won't it? Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. I really do want to inspect this place, but I don't even know where to start. Good luck, then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more speckled blends of tea, so come back again soon. I'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Awesome. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime. Oh, we're going right back. I guess I didn't get to look. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all, we headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. I don't know why the screen just blinked. That was kind of strange, but heavy coin. Maybe that was the murder weapon. To be continued. Nice. That was a nice change of pace. You know, we didn't get much information though.
but still looking pretty good. All right, let's give it a save.